Hey everyone, so I've kind of been guided to sit down and record a video, and I'm not too sure what it's going to be about. It's really interesting because obviously there's a lot going on our planet at this time, and I know that everyone is inundated with information and posts and memes and videos about, I'm not even going to name it on here, because I don't want this video to be about that in particular. But what the guides are kind of saying is, please make a video about unity consciousness and about the shift, our shift to unity consciousness, and how that is playing out on the planet right now, and what impact that is having on a lot of us. And I wanted to share just a little bit about my own personal experience of the shift to unity consciousness and what that has meant for me. And I'm going to be giving a talk this Friday, the 27th of March, through the London College of Spirituality online about ascension and ascension symptoms, and specifically some of the physical symptoms that we might be going through. And so I don't want to talk too much about it, but what I will say is that one of the first experiences I've had in this whole ascension process is that the energetic is becoming more physical to me. And I see myself as a bit of a guinea pig. I always seem to experience things, never know what's going on, and then I go through it, and then I find a load more people that have sort of been experiencing similar things, people that are really walking this awakened path. So what I mean by that is, for starters, for a long time, as an empath, I've been able to feel other people's emotions, and in the work that I do, I'm able to tune into another person's emotions and feel their emotions as though they're my own. In a session, I can kind of connect in through their consciousness to how they're feeling, and also to look at some of the emotions that they may not be facing, or may not even be equipped to feel in themselves because they're trapped emotions. So I'll be able to feel, first of all, what the emotion is, where it's trapped in the body, and help them to release it, help them to move it through. And some of the other more physical things that are happening is that these emotions, where we are holding trapped emotions, many people are now experiencing physical pains and things in the body where they're holding the trapped emotions or the trapped energy, but it might not necessarily relate to a physical illness or a physical problem, so to speak. If we look at the manifestation of the energetic into the physical with this kind of global appearance, shall we say, of a physical manifested illness, we might say that the trapped emotion in our unified consciousness, the trapped energy, or the trapped energy, the trapped, let's call it sickness, in our collective consciousness that we haven't been looking at, or that we haven't been facing, the miasm in our collective, is coming to the surface. And so we might see what's going on across the board now as the revelation. It is like a revelation. It really is. I mean, we're kind of in plagues. I wasn't going to talk about it, but it seems to be slipping in. But it is like a revelation or a revealing of what has been hidden coming to light. And I just keep hearing that it's the sickness in our society. It's like a consciousness that impacts our whole society that's coming to light. And I've been quite surprised this week as well, because I've been posting things and trying to post positive things and talking about the power of collective consciousness, and talking about the power that we have in this acknowledging of truths that are coming to the surface. And I put a post up a couple of days ago just inviting people to go into their heart and feel what's their truth in this situation. Obviously, there's a lot going on. We don't necessarily know the truth of it yet, but a lot of truths are going to be coming to light over the next few months. For example, how did this start? Where did this start? Was it an accident, or was it deliberate? Now, in many ways, does it really matter how it started? Because now it's come to light that there is actually a sickness in our society, and it's become unavoidable. And now we all have to work together in a unified group consciousness, a group effort, a global group effort to heal it and to heal the miasm, to heal the disconnection. It's like the great gaping wound in our society where we've been separating and separating from each other. Something's finally popped, and now we have to come together to solve it. And we have to learn, it's like in our separation, our forced isolation, our forced separation, we're being given an opportunity to actually acknowledge how much we need each other and how much we do rely on each other and how much we can help to heal each other. So, the days of sitting in front of the TV and seeing the starving children in Africa and thinking, oh, that doesn't impact me, that's not part of my life, those days are gone, because we're all in this together. But the experience of things becoming more physical means that the other's thoughts, the other's feelings are becoming more present to me. And I know many of you watching this that are light workers and sensitives, you'll be feeling that, you'll be experiencing that. And there's the invitation to kind of question, to go, right, are these thoughts my own thoughts? Are these feelings my own feelings? And how can you distinguish that? How can you determine that? When really the truth is, they're all our own thoughts and feelings, because we're all connected on some level. So if you meet with someone and you experience a thought form or an emotion coming from that person, you can think of it as a kind of a mirroring, so that it offers you the invitation to look within and find the unhealed part of yourself within you. So say a person is presenting you with anger. Where are you perhaps holding trapped anger? Where are you not owning your anger? If someone is presenting you with grief or sadness, where are you not acknowledging your own grief or sadness? It's 19:19 on the clock as I'm recording this, so I love it, the alignment, double numbers. So as a globe, as a unified consciousness of humanity, this whole experience is offering us an opportunity to go within and ask, how is this impacting me? How am I feeling? How am I feeling in relation to this forced isolation? Am I feeling vulnerable? Am I feeling excited? Am I feeling fearful? Am I feeling joyful? I know that in myself, I've kind of been flipping between real moments of vulnerability and sadness, like really deep sadness kind of coming up in me. But in many ways, the sadness is not as present as this really interesting feeling of excitement and almost rising euphoria because of the thrill of the change that is at hand, the thrill of the change that's coming to humanity, where we're being forced to look within. We're all being forced to kind of hold ourselves accountable. And for the light workers, many of us have been through this process already countless times. And it's almost like we've had to go through it all first to prepare for the rest of humanity to catch up. It's interesting, like I'm looking at it in my home, when I lost my job many years ago, and I was, first of all, the magazine I worked for was sold to another owner, and then we were sold to another owner and another owner, and then we were forced out of the office and we had to work from home to save costs. And I set up my office computer and my office at home on the kitchen table in our old flat where we used to live. And, my life sort of started to unravel, and everything unraveled, and it was dark night of the soul, and there was all this other stuff that happened. And, I've been walking a very long, dark path through the wilderness for many years, and now I'm starting to come out and see the light, and beautiful opportunities are coming, and I never thought anything good was ever going to happen again. It just felt like my carefully constructed house of cards, my tower, was kaput, and that was it. There was nothing more for me. Maybe it was just my destiny to, it's non-attachment. And now I'm kind of seeing, I'm starting to put in really lovely building blocks towards the life I've kind of always wanted to live, and the goals that I've always wanted to have are starting to come to fruition, and I feel this sense of hopefulness. And now it's like I've been waiting for my husband to kind of understand what it is I've been going through on that emotional level and the physical level. And suddenly he's now having to work from home, forced to work from home, having his hours cut, all kinds of things going on. And I'm looking at, the home office that he's set up, and there's no irony here. He's working off the same computer screen that I was working off, that I brought home from my old company from the magazine, and it just feels like history repeating itself. And it's very strange. It's like each of us is having a part of our lives stripped away. And when you find that part of your outer world is stripped away, and even like the safety of your world, the reference points that you built up around yourself is suddenly gone. Even something as simple as being able to go for a walk or go shopping or go to the cinema, or, that's all being stripped away, and we're all being kind of forced onto a path that is inward looking. And at the same time, forced into a space where we're losing our connection, our physical connection to people. And I've never seen anything like it, because more and more people are connecting online, people are checking in on each other. I've seen a level of kindness rising on this planet that is just so refreshing, and it's really beautiful. But at the same time, I'm also seeing a level of fear and a little bit of aggression. I've had, in trying to spread love and kindness, I've had a few people make comments and tell me that this woo-woo, la-la, crystal ball stuff doesn't count, and what counts now is, boots on the ground, and we have to think of everybody suffering. And, well, yeah, I really do think of everybody suffering. Of course I do. I'm not trying to go into la-la land about any of it. This is happening. This is real. And it's physical. There's no ignoring it. There's no real escapism going on here. And I'm not suggesting that we go into a place of escapism. But what I am suggesting is that we have the power as a collective, when we put our minds and our hearts together and we focus our attention and our intention on the highest possible outcome that we could possibly hope to achieve from this situation, we start an unstoppable movement of love. And love, in my experience, isn't just light and fluffy and frivolous and woo-woo la-la. Love is an unstoppable force of power. And I'm always reminded of Winston Churchill and what he was up against as Prime Minister in World War II. And, the Germans had all but defeated the whole of Europe. And he was basically told, give up now and enter into peace talks. But he knew what he had to do. And so he stood against everyone's opinion. And he did what he thought was right. And he said no. He said no to tyranny. And he garnered everyone in Britain and the UK to come together to focus on peace, to hold a minute for peace around the wireless every night. Everyone would hold that minute silence for peace. And that ultimately won us the war. So if you think about that, now I know for a fact that Winston Churchill had a spiritual advisor during the war, and those of you who go to Glastonbury and visit the Chalice Well, it was a man named Wellesley Tudor Pole who set up the Chalice Well, who was Winston Churchill's spiritual advisor during the war. And my dear friend Jane Lee Miller told me that. But she told me that because when I first went to Glastonbury, I had a visit from Winston Churchill in spirit. And he's kind of been around ever since. And I feel like there's a whole collective of souls that are garnering together to support us through this, because they've been through it before. I feel like there's like there is a council of light, many councils of light that are forming around us to help us at this time. And, they often say that it is always darkest before the dawn, and something needed to give. I mean, if you listen to little Greta Thunberg, what she was talking about with global warming, well, look at this. Suddenly out of the blue, the earth has a chance to reset herself. And I'm very aware that there's the energy is doing this. There's a lot of duality. The duality is very extreme. There's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of love, and there's a lot of hope, and there's a lot of anger. And where we sit, where we choose to sit in all of this is important. And what you focus on grows. So where you put your attention and your intention, that creates a ripple effect like a wave across the planet. And so I just want to sit here and offer an invitation to put your focus on the positives of this situation and really focus on those positives. It's not to ignore the negatives, because we can use the negatives as helpful tools to go in and face our fears, to go in and heal the wounded parts of ourselves, and to learn and to grow as a collective, to learn from our mistakes. But when you focus on love and you focus on hope and you trust, this is really key, you trust in the highest possible outcome for this situation, and you hold a vision for the most beautiful, peaceful planet and collective that us as humanity can become, then you literally are driving us towards that future. The future isn't all just prophecy. We're co-creating our future every second of every day. So it's my invitation here today just for us to come together and close our eyes and hold that vision of the highest possible future. You know, it might seem that the odds are stacked against us, but actually the odds needn't be stacked against us. I'm being reminded of a woman, a beautiful woman who is actually a saint. She's the patron saint of Australia, and her name is Mary MacKillop. And Mary MacKillop was a nun, Catholic nun, and she was very, I guess she championed people that lived on the outer, on the outer edge of society. She championed the underdog. She did a lot of work with the Aborigines in Australia, and she very much wanted to help people who lived in poverty and people who didn't have opportunities. And she was very much an advocate for kindness. She was a beautiful soul, and at one point she actually stood against some of the church's ideas because she was so dedicated to helping people who were struggling and suffering. And she was excommunicated from the church for a while. And it's like she didn't lose hope. She didn't lose faith. She stayed the course. She trusted. And eventually the church let her back in. And today she is the patron saint of Australia. But she very much is a saint. Well, I'm not Catholic. Like, I was raised Catholic, but to me, she's an ascended master, and she's a guardian. And if you pray to Mary MacKillop, you can actually experience miracles. She's a patron saint of the miraculous, and of succeeding against the odds. So I'm going to ask her to be here to overlight this prayer, this meditation, whatever it is we're going to be doing. I'm just going to open to channel in a minute and see what comes through for the collective, for anyone watching this. And I just feel that the overarching energy we need now, we really need to focus on, is loving kindness and forgiveness, because whether you think this was deliberately done or not, holding anger and fear and pain and anguish in our hearts is not going to heal. We need to first forgive ourselves, because we're all responsible as a collective. This is a sickness within our society, and on some level we've all allowed this to happen. But we do have the opportunity to turn the tides now. And, you might think, well, who am I? I'm just one person. I'm just one voice. I'm just one heart. But when many hearts and many voices join together as one collective heart, one collective voice, one collective force of love, an unstoppable ripple becomes a tidal wave of love. And that can affect huge change, and it can do it rapidly. So the more that we can all focus on peace and love and the highest probable outcome, the more likely it is to happen. And then we become alchemists of our own life, our own world, and we claim back our earth from any force that has not stood for light. And from any mistakes that we may have made in the past, we decide now we've learnt from it, and now we're going to grow from it, and we're going to do things differently this time. We're going to do things with a loving heart. So I'm just going to close my eyes and see what energies I can perceive around this. And I'm just going to invite you also, if you wish, to close your eyes. And first, just tuning into your heart, start to see, feel, or visualize a beautiful column or pillar of diamond white and golden light forming around you. And imagine this pillar of light is going all the way down with roots down into the core of Mother Earth. And see it stretching up into heaven, and see that pillar of light becoming like a beautiful tree. A tree of life, a tree of light in your energy field, and you are the trunk of that tree, and it's your roots reaching down into the earth, touching into the elemental kingdom, all the minerals, the plants, tuning into the network of plants and trees, and branches reaching heavenward, branches of light touching source, and each branch of that tree going up through all the different star systems in our cosmos. And now we invite here to be with us, first of all, our own soul energy, our overlighting soul consciousness, our higher self. And feel this arrive within your heart like a blossoming, billowing flame of pure white light. A flame that moves out and opens like a flaming white rose at the center of the heart. Breathe in light, center yourself in your heart, breathe in the energy of peace. Let go for a moment of all your cares and worries, doubts and fears of the bigger picture. Let the body start to open and relax. And you can just be curious for now about how things are going to play out. Instead of fear, just open to curiosity. Instead of being afraid of the unknown or afraid of change, what if you could imagine that the change coming was an exciting, amazing, beautiful change that was going to bring positive results to every single person? Now I know that it's easy to say that when there are people dying and there are people passing over. But what I also know is that souls don't pass before it's their time. And it may sound a little bit flippant, and I don't mean this flippantly at all, but from a higher consciousness perspective, all souls pass at the moment of their own choosing, not from their human choosing, but from their soul's choosing. And some of these souls are actually needed on the other side to assist us from the other side. Some of these souls will be reincarnating immediately back onto the planet to pursue the next level of their evolution. And we just need to trust that whatever is happening, it's almost like we need to let go of control for a minute and just allow this unfoldment to happen whilst trusting. We can never know the true full extent of the outcome. We can try and prophesy, but the best thing to do is remain curious, open, hopeful, and trusting. Because in this way, perhaps we can actually minimize the loss of life if we learn and grow faster. Because sometimes through loss that we need to grow. And I know that on a personal level, the spiritual path, the inner path, has been one of the most painful and difficult paths I've ever had to walk. And I know that as a collective it may yet be difficult, but it is necessary. So soften into whatever is going to come. Some of you may be surprised at what happens on the other side of this experience. And this is the guidance today. I have all these beautiful angelic light beings stepping forward. Many of them, all the archangels are coming forward. I have Raphael with the emerald green and yellow light, giving us the caduceus, the healing symbol in the energy field, which is a rod with 2 entwined snakes and wings at the top. This is the healing symbol. The invitation is to place this symbol in your energy field to protect you from any illness and to help you recover more quickly from any illness. And I'm seeing the caduceus spinning clockwise, so it'll spin around to your right, and spinning out any negative or limiting energy, spinning out any pathogens. And this can protect you if you're still able to go out and about. This can protect quite a lot. Obviously use common sense as well, but this will help to raise your vibration to the healing vibration to minimize the risk of getting ill. And placing an emerald cloak around you and a golden halo above your head, just keeping this healing cloak around you for the duration of this period in our human history. I also have Archangel Gabriel stepping in now, beautiful, huge, big white angel blowing a copper trumpet. The message is the time is now. The Great Awakening is here. It is the revelation, the great revealing. And all that is hidden is coming to light. And all that is hidden isn't necessarily negative, because what's coming to light are gifts and treasures in our human psyche that we haven't accessed. We have changes in science and technology that are actually going to be really positive. And so just allowing for whatever needs to come, to come. Archangel Michael coming in now with the sword of truth, this huge flaming sword of truth, cutting away illusion, cutting away lies and falsehoods and untruths, paving a path of truth. The truth will set you free. Just imagine opening before you a road paved in gold, like your own proverbial yellow brick road to the Emerald City. But this is to the city of light, the cities of light, which my guides tell me is what is happening. The message that I've been given is that this is actually like a global changing of the guard. So anyone who has been operating from a place of greed and I'm talking like extreme greed, the hoarding of wealth, those that have been preying on the weak in order to put themselves at the top of the food chain, so to speak, I believe that they're going to be out. I don't know how though. I know there's a lot of stories playing out about this at the moment. I don't know those details. All I know is that 8 months ago my guides told me there will be a changing of the guard, and it will be soon. So those in their integrity who've been kind of struggling away behind the scenes are going to be lifted into positions of leadership, and these people are in all walks of life. We're all being held accountable for our truth, our actions, our integrity. So trust that you will be wherever you're meant to be. Trust that you will learn whatever you're meant to learn. Trust that you will receive whatever it is you're meant to receive. And the guides and the angels are saying that already as a collective, humanity has far surpassed what was expected of us. And the time we're entering into now has never before happened in our collective human history. There has never been a time like this, ever, on this earth. So those of us who are alive here on the earth have chosen to be here for this great upshift in our collective consciousness. It's like a global enlightenment process. And they're saying we can't wait to see what you're capable of. We can't wait to see what you achieve next and how you grow and blossom and evolve as a collective. They're giving me the word forgiveness. And they're saying you must forgive what has gone before in order to have a different outcome this time. If you hold unforgiveness in your heart for any reason towards anyone, then you are likely to replay the same old patterns. And he's showing me previous world wars, conflicts, battles. In order to move beyond battle consciousness, conflict consciousness, we have to be willing to forgive what has gone before and carve a new path for ourselves. A path where we are lifted in love, where we let go of the petty squabbles and things and just see the soul in each person and love the soul in each person. It doesn't excuse bad behavior. We can say no to bad behavior, but we can do it lovingly and we can forgive. And I'm not going to go too deeply into that because that is relative for each person here. It is up to each individual to search your soul to find where you might be holding unforgiveness. It could be on a global scale towards a world leader. It could be on a personal scale. It could be towards yourself. Seek inside your heart for any unforgiveness that you are holding towards yourself or another. And if we look presently at the current state of global politics, there may be some world leaders that perhaps need our forgiveness. Because actually, when we hold people in unforgiveness, we do more damage to ourselves. We weaken ourselves while often playing into the hands of those who might be bent on tyranny. So think of any world leaders presently that might be causing chaos and disruption, or that you might not agree with the policies of. And in your heart, instead of seeing the person, see the soul. Understand that every soul is part of you, is an extension of you in the great unity consciousness. Anywhere you are not able to forgive another, then there is a part of you that is not able to forgive yourself. And it's at this point that we must acknowledge ourselves here as the mirror. And just feel into your physical and emotional body any place of constriction, tightness. And feel here that place of unforgiveness. Invite it up, let yourself feel it, acknowledge it, see it, sense it. See it like a little bubble rising through water to the surface. Bring it up into your heart, a little sphere. Imagine it's like a little crystal ball. And as you gaze into this little crystal ball where this unforgiveness sits, imagine you can see a face, the face of the person or the people that you are holding this unforgiveness towards. It might be somebody surprising. It could be somebody in your family. It could be a friend. It might even be your own face. It might be somebody on the world stage. Who are you holding unforgiveness towards? Who are you resisting forgiving? And in resisting forgiving, resisting loving, resisting accepting, resisting acknowledging. Really see that person now. Imagine you can see them as a child. Imagine you can reverse their age and see them as a small boy or girl, a little innocent child. Perhaps before any damage was done to them to make them the way they are, to cause them to act in the way that caused you to unforgive them in the first place, or not forgive them in the first place. See that small child. See how vulnerable that child is. And see how easy it is to offer them forgiveness in the guise of that child. And here we're going to bring in the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. See that child. See their face. What's the expression on their face? Perhaps they're scared, perhaps they're vulnerable, perhaps they're hopeful, perhaps they're joyful. As you look into their eyes, see their reaction to you saying, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And really see and feel and acknowledge them accepting your forgiveness. And see them now growing up through all the ages of their life, from that small child to teenage years, young adulthood, and all the way to the age they are now. And see what a difference this might make in the person. See them changed. See them changed for the better. See a light go on in their heart. Open your heart and send love in the form of light, a beam of light, straight into their heart, and see the potential for love blossom there. See them receive that love. See the walls melting around them. See them changed. And now, imagine the entire collective, every human being on this planet. Imagine you can see every soul. Zoom out from the earth and see every soul shining like little stars upon the earth. This is how I'm shown that we are viewed from space, or we are viewed from the angelic kingdom. We're all little stars twinkling on the surface of the earth, and some of those stars are slightly dimmer if they have had love withheld from them, or they don't think themselves capable of feeling love. And as you zoom out, see these little twinkling stars all over the earth plane, and imagine you can see some of the dimmer ones, some of the ones perhaps not shining as brightly, and you might be aware of certain areas on the planet that have less of these shining stars and more of the dimmed stars, maybe areas where there's been difficulty, war or famine or conflict, unrest. Perhaps areas on the planet where trauma has occurred. And see if you can see areas on the planet where the light shines more brightly. But without exception, open your heart and send love to all those shining stars. The dim ones, the bright ones, the in-between ones. Even the ones, and especially the ones where the light seems to have almost completely gone out. But that light never ever truly goes out, because the soul is still there, and the soul is the purest spark of the divine. And it's a little bit like that yin and yang symbol. In the blackest of black there is still a spark of light, and in the brightest of light there is still a point of dark. There's the potential for either. Let your own heart be ignited with light and love. See yourself standing over the earth. See yourself standing over the earth as a great angelic being. Feel the flame of love in your heart begin to blaze brighter. Pure diamond white golden light blazing from within. Feel it surging through your body, up and down your channel. Imagine you have huge wings of fire unfolding, opening now. As you blaze, you become the angel of light. What if you could become the great angel of change? What if you were the one that was driving this change for the earth? What would your intention be for the collective if you had the power to change the course of human history? Which direction would you drive humanity in? Would you drive it towards more conflict, chaos, pain, and hurt? Or would you drive it towards more peace, love, community, sharing, growth, wisdom, devotion? Because on this plane of existence, everything boils down to choices, infinite, intricate choices. That's what our life is. In every millisecond of a second, we choose, we make choices. This or that, here or there, good or bad, right or wrong, light or dark, male or female. This whole universe, this whole earth plane is built on choice. And even the tiniest choice, the smallest, most minute choice to have a single thought can lead you off in a whole different trajectory. Do you ever take a wrong turn or choose the wrong thing, perhaps the wrong job or the wrong house, and do you ever wish you could go back and choose again? Here we have the opportunity to choose right the first time. Every second of every day, choose love, choose peace. Choose what lights you up. Choose what makes you feel more relaxed. Does it make you feel relaxed to think that the world's going to end, this is Armageddon and we're not going anywhere and there's no point to any of this? Does that make you feel relaxed? Feel the body, feel into the body. Your body is talking to you in every moment. This is why our emotions are becoming more physical. We're being shown. Follow the feeling, follow the sensation. Does it make you feel relaxed? How would you feel if you knew? If you knew without a shadow of a doubt that we were entering the most peaceful, loving time in our human history, that the peace that we were entering into was going to be lasting for eternity, that once in place there would be no going back from it, that humanity was in a great upshift of collective love consciousness, and that all we had to do was open and trust. How does that make you feel in your body? And so as you become, imagine intend or tune into yourself as this great white blazing diamond light angel standing over the earth. Make your choice. Because from that perspective, you as this divine force, your choice becomes even more powerful. Because here you are acknowledging yourself as divine. And make that choice from the place of your infinite divinity, and it becomes even more powerful. And as light workers, this is the power we have. This is the power we hold in our acknowledgement of our divinity, in our acknowledgement of our light. Even if you're sitting at home alone in your spare room like I'm doing now, even if it's just you, you are connected in with a network of hearts so brilliant and so shining. Hearts that are awakened, that are opened, hearts that are luminous. Those of us that are really on this path, that live it, breathe it, eat it, sleep it, we know how this works. We understand it. And yes, there are still those that are in fear. And yes, there will be those who say that focusing on love and peace doesn't work. But that's because there was a time on this earth where it didn't work. There was a time on this earth where it wasn't enough. But we've been planting these seeds of light for lifetimes, for this time now. And this time is now. We're in it. It is here. And from where I sit, the outcome is marvelous. We don't need to know the story of why. We just need to trust that we're on the right path. It's a good path. It's a holy path. It's a beautiful path. And it's going to lead us into a glorious, glorious new future. Endless possibilities await us. So let's hold excitement in our bellies for what might be around the corner and for what gifts might just be revealed to us as we open to receive, open and trust, open and choose the highest possible future for ourselves and our collective brothers and sisters, all the plants, or the animals, or the children, or the minerals, and of course our beloved, beloved Earth Mother. All eyes are on Earth now. All hearts are turned towards us. We have so much support around us. Angelics and star beings, elementals, the magical ones are rising. Magical Earth is awakening once more. And those of you watching this will know that you are part of the diamond rainbow tribes of light that have returned at this time to help make the earth beautiful and green once more, to help her become the pearl of the cosmos that she was always destined to be. And as you sit here, I want you to imagine you can project your consciousness 5 years into the future of our planet. And imagine that you're seeing the highest probable outcome based on what you have chosen now. And can you see the beauty unfolding for humanity? What will you be doing in 5 years' time? Where will you be? Perhaps you might see changes in technology, and medicine and healing. There'll be new Earth children on the planet. There are children coming that are to be born on the other side of this great shift. New Earth children that don't belong to the old paradigm. Awakened children They're already coming. Many of them are already here. There are even more waves of these children who are going to be born. What kind of planet do you want to gift them with? What is your legacy? How could you make this earth more beautiful for them, if not for yourself, for them, for the generations that follow us? Perhaps you might be in one of those generations somewhere in the future. Should you go through the cycle of reincarnation again? The soul is infinite, and there are infinite possibilities before us. So I just want to leave you with this invitation, and to empower you to know that we do have a choice. We always have a choice. And I will always, always choose love and choose to see the highest, most positive probable outcome in any situation. This seems like a mighty big situation to be holding this energy for, but it doesn't need to seem that big when there are so many of us that can hold it in our hearts, and we join together as one unified force of love, of goodness, of peace, of forgiveness, of trust, and most of all of kindness. So setting the intention that we make all our choices from this place of trusting in the highest probable outcome. Perhaps letting go of the need to control, the need to be overly opinionated about things, the need to be angry, the need to blame. Let go of all of that. And take the higher perspective. All change is good. Something needed to give here on the earth. We were becoming more and more disconnected. This is an opportunity for us to regroup and step into a loving, unified consciousness, seeing ourselves as one, individuals, but one, like a collective council of light upon the surface of the earth. So staying with that image of yourself as the huge angel, imagine you are still the angel, but you're beginning to shrink in size back down to your current human size, but retaining your beautiful angel wings and still seeing yourself as luminous with that white gold light blazing in your energy field, and just setting the intention that you now have the ability to walk on the earth as an angelic being, holding the intention and the focus of love for yourself, but also for all those who may not be capable of holding it for themselves, and holding forgiveness towards those who are perhaps not capable of finding that light within. We set the intention to illuminate the flame of love in the hearts of everyone. Breathe into your heart. Become aware of yourself sitting or laying as you did where you were when we began this meditation and this process. Feeling your body, feeling love for the body, the vessel that you inhabit as a consciousness. Feeling the light around you. You might be aware of tingles in your fingertips, energy shifts, temperature changes around you. Just before you open your eyes, just feel how the energy in the room around you has changed. Feel how your body, your emotions have changed. Perhaps the body feels more relaxed. Feel that area, that place where you initially felt the restriction, the constriction in the heart, or wherever it was when we first tuned into that energy of unforgiveness. Feel the energy open and flowing within you now. Feel the vibration of trust. Invite trust. Trust in the best outcome. Trust trust in the most peaceful solution. Trust in your ability to affect positive change just through your intention, just through your focus, just through your allowing it to happen. Open to the miracle. Think of that word miracle. What if you knew an incredible miracle was coming into your life? What if you knew an incredible miracle was coming to the whole of humanity? What would that feel like in your body? Would you be feeling excited and joyful? Let yourself imagine that you know this is already a given. The miracle is coming. Trust it. Hope for it. Dare to hope. Allow yourself to open and receive the miracle and share of this miracle with all heart, all mind, just by walking as a beautiful, loving being upon the earth. Hold the intention now that when you open your eyes, you anchor all of this light and this truth and this intention right here in your daily waking reality. Take a deep breath in, connect to your body. Imagine you are now being cocooned in a beautiful blanket of white light, sparkling white light, shielding your energy field, softening. It's like a soft cocoon, like beautiful, soft wool, cozy, protective, nurturing, bringing more softness into your energy field, helping you to soften your heart, soften your mind, soften your body. Let go of all harshness. Let go of all hardness. Come home to love. And then sealing your space. You might want to just raise a finger to your lips as though you're saying shh. Just seal your space. Keep you safe and protected. But feel Raphael's caduceus in your energy field, the emerald cloak and the golden halo, just giving you extra protection, extra healing to defend against any sickness or pathogens in your field, transmute any illness, strengthen your immune system, strengthen your heart. Raphael really is an angel of the heart, so that universal heart, giving healing to your precious heart and to the hearts of everyone. And just allowing your eyes to gently open. Take a deep breath in. Really just look at the room around you, taking in light, feeling the body, feeling the body might feel a bit heavy, relaxed and heavy. When we do angelic work, you might feel heaviness around the shoulders and the neck. This is all the positive energy. And just let yourself be as gentle with yourself as you need to be. Take as much time after this process as you need to sort of ground yourself, breathe yourself back into your body. Just really shrink. Imagine you can shrink your consciousness right down into the body. And we're going to do shrink, sink and shield. Shrink your consciousness down into the body. Sink your weight into the body. Imagine you can sink your soul energy into the body, anchor it into the body, becoming aware of the base chakra. Just feel that anchoring you in. And then shield, and whatever shielding you need to do to make sure you feel nice and safe. I often bring an indigo cloak around me from Archangel Michael as extra protection, and the shield and the sword of Michael is also really good. So on that note, I'm just being shown Archangel Ariel is also with us, the lioness of God, giving us the courage that we need. Sometimes being kind, being soft, being loving can take more courage than being harsh or being hard or being angry or being in fight mode, you know. It takes courage to stand for love. It really does. If you only have to look at the story of Yeshua, Jesus Christ, to see what courage he had to take, or the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten, who also stood against the way things were done to stand for love and peace. He was called the heretic. so many stories of heresy and betrayal by for those that have stood for love. So it does take courage, but I just refuse not to now. The time has come for us to choose love and choose peace, because no other way has worked, really, in my opinion. But on that note, I'm going to leave you there. I hope you enjoyed this process. As I said, I had no idea where we were going or what we were doing, but I feel nice and relaxed now, and I feel a little more hopeful. So thank you for watching. Namaste.